This might not be the most glamorous part of entrepreneurship, but it is one of the most important because while good branding might attract clients, it's the solid operations that keep them coming back. Your location, hours, policies, pricing, service menu, and client communication, all of it plays a role in the overall experience you deliver. Whether you're working out of your home, renting a room, or offering mobile tans, this section will help you build a strong foundation that feels aligned, organized, and professional from day one. Let's dive in and start with choosing the right location for your business. Your location matters more than you think. Where you choose to run your business can directly impact the type of clients you attract, how much you can charge, and how quickly you grow. If you're just starting out, working from home is totally okay. But if you're considering renting a studio or a suite right now, your target audience should guide that decision. We'll dive deeper into identifying your target audience in the marketing module, but here are a few things to start thinking about now. Are you aiming to attract luxury clients who value convenience and high-end experiences, or are you focusing on younger clients who care more about affordability and accessibility? Your answers to these questions will help determine what kind of space makes the most sense, whether it's mobile, in-home, or a studio location. Also think about things like parking, walkability, nearby businesses, and the overall vibe of the area. Your location should reflect your brand and support the pricing and client experience you want to create. Each option, working from home, mobile, or renting a studio, has its pros and cons. Let's chat through each one. Running your business from home. Starting your spray tanning business out of your home can be a great way to keep overhead costs low while you build your clientele. I personally started in my house, and while it was the most affordable option, there were a few things I learned along the way that are important to consider. Number one, safety and privacy. I personally wasn't comfortable sharing my home address online, which made it a little bit difficult for potential clients to gauge how far away I was. I often got messages asking, "Where are you located?" And without being able to post my address, it sometimes made it harder to secure bookings. Number two, having strangers in your home. While most clients are lovely, there's always a chance someone might make you feel unsafe or a little bit uncomfortable. Inviting strangers into your personal space is a real consideration, especially if you live alone. Number three, the mess factor. Spray tanning can get messy real fast. Overspray, solution stains, ventilation, it all becomes a little bit trickier when you're working in a space that wasn't designed for this type of service. That said, if you have a private setup like a separate entrance or a converted garage and feel comfortable, starting from your home can be an excellent way to get your feet wet without taking on a lot of risk. Next, starting with mobile only. Starting your spray tanning business as a mobile-only service is a great option, especially if you don't have the space in your home designed for that setup, or if you're not quite ready to take on the financial responsibility of renting a studio. This allows you to begin building a client base with very little overhead. That said, there are a few important things to consider. Not everyone wants you to come to them. While mobile tanning offers convenience, many clients still prefer the structure and privacy of an in-studio experience. At 7, even though we offer both options, our in-studio tans are consistently more popular. Another factor is pricing. Mobile tans should always be priced higher. They're a luxury service, and rightfully so. You're not just offering a tan, you're offering convenience, travel setup, and teardown, and that comes with added expenses, increased gas usage, wear and tear on your vehicle, and fewer appointments per day due to the drive time and logistics. However, if you plan to build a luxury mobile tanning experience, especially targeting higher income demographics, mobile tanning can be a great long-term strategy. It just might take a little bit longer to build momentum. And lastly, launching an in-studio business. If you're serious about building a long-term luxury spray tanning business, I highly recommend making an in-studio space your ultimate goal. Even if your at-home setup is beautiful, there's something about having a dedicated location that immediately elevates your brand. It allows you to create a more curated, branded experience for your clients, and it makes your business easier to market. So while a high-end in-home setup can absolutely work, if you want to position yourself as a top-tier spray tan business in your city, a studio will help you stand out. Now, if you're thinking about renting a studio from the start, here's what to consider. Have at least 3 to 6 months of expenses saved. Before signing a lease or renting a suite, make sure you have enough saved to cover rent and utilities, startup costs, insurance, ongoing business expenses, and solution. If you're starting from scratch and don't have any clients yet, it might be smarter to begin in your home or mobile and build demand before committing to rent. If you're eager to be in a studio, look into salon suites or single room rentals. They're often much more affordable and require less commitment than signing a long-term commercial lease. Ultimately, there is no right way to start, but there is something to be said about being strategic and thinking through all the options of what they could mean for your business. If you're financially prepared and confident in your skills, a studio could totally make sense for you. But if you're still testing out the waters, starting from home or mobile can be just as strategic and successful. When I made the jump from my garage to a studio, it was the scariest jump for me at that time, but it ultimately made my business take off in ways I don't think I could have accomplished if I had stayed in my garage. And looking back, I actually wish I would have moved sooner because I actually had the clientele base to support that monthly rent. I was just terrified to make the jump. So take this lesson from me: the moment you can afford to move into a space, do it. Even if it scares you. You'll learn quickly that in business, oftentimes the moves or risks that are the scariest are the ones that you should be taking. All right, let's dive into setting your hours and policies. Running a luxury spray tanning business means setting clear expectations for yourself and your clients. From your hours to your cancellation policy, setting boundaries protects your time, energy, and your bottom line. Clearly defining your business hours is one of the most important steps in creating structure for both you and your clients. List your availability on your website, booking site, and even in your email signatures so people know when to expect responses or appointment options. Next, setting up your policies and boundaries. Policies are very important to have in place from the start. Policies aren't about being strict, they're about protecting your time and energy and business. Setting clear expectations from the start helps create a professional environment where both you and your clients know what to expect. Boundaries give your business structure and keeps you from burning out. You're going to include these in your waiver and reinforce them across your booking platforms, confirmation emails, and post-care materials. But even more important than setting them is enforcing them. If you bend your rules too often, clients may start to treat your time like it's optional. That said, every situation is different and you can always use discretion on a case-by-case basis. Let's go over a few different policies you should have in place, starting off with the cancellation policy. You can choose to structure your cancellation policy in any way you see fit. What I do is, if a client cancels with less than 24 hours notice, a 50% cancellation fee will be charged to their card. This also applies to same-day cancellations. You've reserved that time and likely turned away other business, so your time deserves to be compensated. Some beauty businesses require a 48-hour notice, but for me, I find that 24 hours is great. I also require a card on file for every appointment that is made. This allows me to make sure I am able to charge cards if a last-minute cancellation or no-show happens. Now, you can absolutely make exceptions based on the situation. Family emergencies, sudden illnesses, or weather, but keep in mind that every time you waive a policy, you're training your clients on what is acceptable. What I've been doing from the start is if I waive a fee, I'll make a note of it in their account and then let them know that I've waived it this time, but next time they will be charged. That way, you can set the tone and have it recorded in case it becomes a reoccurring issue with that same client. Next, you should have a no-show policy. A no-call no-show should result in 100% charge of the service. Time is money, and a no-show with no communication is incredibly disruptive to your schedule. If a first-time client no-shows, you can even decide whether or not you want to allow them to rebook. The next thing to consider is a late arrival policy. Give yourself a time buffer. I recommend a 10-minute grace period. After that, the appointment may need to be rescheduled or shortened, especially if it impacts the next client. Next, think through your refund policy. Due to the nature of spray tanning and the personalized results, I have chosen not to offer refunds on services that we've done. However, if a client is truly unhappy and it was due to your mistake, you can offer a discounted future tan. Lastly, group tan cancellations. When it comes to tanning a larger group that obviously takes way more time on your schedule than just one tan, I do think it's important to have a different cancellation policy for groups, especially over 4 people. Take it from me, who has been screwed over one too many times from large groups canceling the day before and leaving my whole day wide open. My cancellation policy for groups of 4 or more is a 48-hour notice instead of 24 hours. And if you wanted, you could even require an additional deposit. Now let's chat through client management and retention. Client retention is where the magic and money happens. A booked out calendar is great, but a loyal client base who keeps coming back and brings their friends is how you build a sustainable business. My number one tip in client management and retention is strategic follow-up texts and education. Following up with your clients isn't just good service, it's smart business. I follow up with every single client like clockwork exactly 2 weeks after their tan. I'm not just checking in, I'm intentionally opening the door to deepen the relationship and generate new content and reviews. There are 3 strategic goals behind this 2-week follow-up. Number 1, checking the longevity of their tan. Following up 2 days after their appointment doesn't tell you much, but at the end of the 2-week mark, you can get valuable feedback about how the tan wore, what they liked, what they might have wanted to tweak next time, if they do want to tweak something. Secondly, asking your clients for photos. I love showcasing real client results across Instagram and TikTok, but the timing is everything. When you wait 2 weeks, they've usually had their event, trip, or photo session and are more likely to send you that golden content. And lastly, ask for reviews. After they've shared their photos and told you how much they love their tan, it is the perfect time to ask for a review. And here's the key, make it as easy as possible. Send them the direct link to leave you a review. The easier you make it, the more likely they're actually gonna do it. At 7, we really only focus on Google reviews because I've found that a lot of my clients use Google to find us. You can focus on any reviewing site you think your clients would frequent because you wanna be where your clients are. Next, let's talk about having a rebooking strategy. If you're on the edge of whether or not you should offer memberships or packages, I'm gonna make the decision for you. You should. They're one of the best ways to generate predictable, reoccurring revenue and increase client retention. At 7, we offer monthly memberships at 1 time, 2 times, or 3 times a month. They're flexible enough to meet different lifestyles and tanning needs, and once people are on the membership, they're less likely to stray to other artists. Similarly, packages like a 3-pack or a 6-pack also work great for vacation prep or wedding season. Client retention isn't just about discounts or clever promos, it's about how you make people feel and how well you remember their preferences. One of the most important and overlooked indicators of a healthy business is your return rate. How many of your clients are coming back to rebook? A higher return rate means clients love their experience, trust your brand, and want to keep coming back. A low return rate, that's a sign that something's off. An ideal goal is 60 to 80% return rate. This means 6 to 8 out of every 10 clients are rebooking with you. Memberships, packages, and an excellent follow-up system can help boost this. Now, an acceptable return rate for new artists is around 40 to 60%. If you're just starting out, this range is totally normal as you build your brand and client base. Focus on improving experience, follow-up, and client education to increase it. Some red flags to watch out for. If you have a lot of first-time clients but few repeat bookings, this might mean that your experience isn't living up to expectations. It could be the tan itself, the customer service, or a lack of clear post-tan instructions. Next, if a client says they'll rebook but never do, this usually points to a follow-up or communication issue. Are you making it easy for them to rebook? Are you checking in after their appointments? Are you creating enough urgency or value to bring them back in? And lastly, negative feedback or ghosting after appointments. If someone seems unhappy, don't panic, but do try to reach out and understand what happened. Sometimes it's an easy fix, like tweaking the color next time, but ultimately taking the time to understand and offer a fix builds trust. Now, don't just track your return rate, analyze why people are or aren't coming back. And remember, you don't need hundreds of new clients every month. You need a loyal client base of people who keep coming back, who love your work, and who tell their friends about you. That's how a sustainable, long-term business is built. Now, let's dive into creating your service menu and selling products. Your service menu is more than just a list of what you offer. It's a direct reflection of your brand, pricing strategy, and how you want to be perceived in the market. You want your menu to be clean, easy to understand, and aligned with the luxury experience you're creating. And most importantly, it needs to be priced for profit. Too many new artists undervalue themselves out of fear. This section is here to help you avoid that. Let's start by covering your signature services, aka your core spray tan services. You want to keep the name of all your services simple. If you have a bunch of different service names and offerings, it might confuse people and turn them off because your menu is just too complicated. Clients should understand your offering in less than 10 seconds. At 7, we have the most straightforward service menu with zero fluff. I'm not against fluff in any way. If that speaks to you and how you want to market, that's the beauty of owning your own business. You get to decide these things. Next, I would decide if you want people to be able to choose rapid or regular tans. Partial tans are also a great service to include. They are especially popular for me in the wintertime. It's a service I offer where people can either tan half up or half down, and it's half price. Next, decide whether you're going to offer mobile tans and be clear about whether your pricing includes travel or if there are any additional fees by distance. Like I mentioned earlier, mobile tans should be viewed as a luxury option, so therefore they should be set at a higher price. We'll touch on how to set your prices in the next section. Next, think about any service add-ons you'll want clients to choose from. Think pH balancing spray, shimmer bronzing drops, hydration seals. Keep the descriptions short and value focused. Lastly, think about what packages and memberships you want to offer. Be sure to clearly list what's included, like gratuity, expiration windows, if there are any, and how everything works to book the actual service after purchasing a package or membership. Now, let's chat through selling products. Selling retail is a strategic way to grow your business, build trust with your clients, and offer a truly elevated full circle experience. By offering curated retail products like exfoliating mitts, tan safe body washes, hydrating lotions, or gradual tanners, you're giving your clients everything they need to maintain their glow and reinforce your expertise at the same time. Selling retail can also increase revenue without adding hours. You can only do so many tans in a day, but product sales continue working for you even after your last appointment. You don't need to carry a full retail line to start, just a few staple products that align with your brand and enhance the client experience. Okay, let's dive into actually pricing your services. Your pricing isn't just a number, it is a reflection of your time, value, professionalism, and the experience that you provide. Whether you're just starting out or scaling your business, the goal is simple: be profitable. Here are some things to consider when determining your pricing. Price for profit, not popularity. Don't just guess that a price sounds good. Use a profitability calculator to break down every cost that goes into each tan, from your solution and disposables to setup time, communication, and overhead. What you charge should reflect everything that it takes to deliver a tan, not just what the artist down the street is doing. And remember, you're not just offering a tan, you are delivering a luxury experience that deserves luxury pricing. I've attached a profitability calculator at the end of this section so you can plug and play some numbers and make sure you feel confident when pricing your services. Next, you want to consider your market because your location matters. Are you in a small town or a major metro city? Research what others in your industry are charging, not to undercut, but to understand your landscape. Your pricing should stand out by being aligned with the value that you bring. Luxury pricing comes from luxury experience. If your clients are receiving warm towels, robes, high-end products, professional guidance, and top-tier results, you should be charging more. Even if you're newer, if you're bringing professionalism, education, and care, your pricing should still reflect that. If you're booked solid at $50 per tan and still barely making ends meet, it's time to raise your rates. Burnout is real, and undercharging is often the culprit. It's okay to start on the conservative side of pricing while building your skills and confidence, but don't stay there. As your demand grows, so should your prices. You should feel good about what you're charging. Now for mobile, you want to set smart travel rates. Determine whether you're charging based on time or mileage. Remember, pricing isn't just about numbers, it's about valuing your time, your skills, and your vision. You're not just building a business, you're building a life, and that deserves to be profitable. Since we're on the topic of profit, let's chat about making financially smart decisions and managing your money. Running a business isn't just about making money, it's about managing it. And I want to start this section off by being real. In today's world, it's really easy to fall into the trap of wanting everything to look perfect right away. The aesthetic studio, the high-end decor, the launch party. But here's what I've learned. Only a very small percentage of business owners can actually afford all that at the beginning. Most of us start small and scale smart. I had one client once, she was the CFO of a huge architect firm here in Seattle, and she told me something that stuck with me. Debt isn't bad if it's going to make you money, but don't go into debt for something that won't. Buying a new spray tan machine because yours is breaking down, that's a smart investment. But spending $2,000 on a party just to announce that you're open when you haven't even made $1 yet, maybe not the best move. So here are a few tips I want to give you when it comes to managing your money as a new business owner. Number one, separate your business and personal finances. Please don't skip this step. Open a dedicated business checking account now, even if you haven't even made a sale yet. This will keep everything clean and make your life way easier when tax season comes around. Number 2, don't feel like you need to have the cutest setup or the most expensive equipment day one. Start small, get profitable, then upgrade. I didn't get a spray tan extraction wall until I was over a year in business because there are thousands of dollars. You can totally start out in a $60 spray tan tent and give flawless tans and grow your business. Number 3, read the book Profit First. This book changed the game for me. It helped me separate emotion from money, plan for taxes, pay myself consistently, and actually feel like I was in control of my finances. This is the book that taught me how to set up multiple bank accounts to plan for savings, taxes, and profit. If money is a topic that scares you, the author of Profit First, Mike Michalowicz, lays it all out in a way that's simple and made specifically for small businesses. I recommend this book to everyone. It's a quick read and it will make you a better business owner and more confident when it comes to your finances. Number 4, ask this before every purchase you make. Will this help me grow my business or improve my client experience in any way? If the answer is yes, great. If not, it might not be the right time to hit purchase. Number 5, track your numbers. Know how much you're making and what you're spending and how many tans you need to break even. Number 6, avoid comparison spending. I know it's hard not to compare your setup or your growth to someone else's, but remember, you have no idea what other financial situations look like behind the scenes. Be proud of where you are now and build a business that's profitable, sustainable, and aligns with your goals, not what just looks good online. Bottom line, being smart with your money is so much more impressive than having a trending studio or a flashy Instagram. This is your business, and smart financial choices now will set you up for long-term success later. Okay, the last section I want to cover in the business module is all things entrepreneurship and advice. You're stepping into a role of an entrepreneur, and that comes with a whole new level of responsibility, mindset, and growth. It's exciting, but it's also hard. We're going to talk about the things people don't always tell you when you start. Number 1, the quality of your mental health will directly impact the quality of your business. We briefly touched on this at the beginning of this module, but I wanted to touch on it again because it's really that important. When you're just starting out, you are your business and your business is you. If you're having a hard time personally, it's going to bleed into everything. How you show up for your clients, your social media presence, your motivation, your creativity. This is one of the most personal, vulnerable, and lonely things you'll ever do, and no one really prepares you for that part. Being a business owner is incredibly isolating. You don't have coworkers to bounce ideas off of, vent to, or even just take a break with. You are doing everything yourself. And the hardest part, most of your family and friends won't be able to relate. They'll try, but they won't know exactly what to say when you're overwhelmed, burnt out, or questioning everything. There have been so many times I have felt disappointed by the people closest to me, not because they didn't care, but because they simply couldn't understand. No one understands the pressure of having the success rest solely on your own shoulders until they've been there. No one knows the mental weight, the anxiety, and the constant second guessing. One of the most important things you can do for your mental health as a business owner is figure out early on what keeps you grounded. For me, I've learned that journaling is a tool that helps bring me back to center. It gives me space to process hard moments and move forward with clarity. Your version might be something else. Maybe it's going for a walk, unplugging for a day, or talking with a mentor. But whatever it is, know this, your mental health matters just as much as everything else in your business. Now, let's talk about burnout. When the busy season hits, when you're trying to be everything and do everything, it will feel like too much, and it probably is too much. This business takes time. It takes consistency. You do not have to hit all your goals at once. But when you're tired or stressed or in a slump, remember, this is the part that most people quit. But you won't. It will take time, longer than you think, to get to the point where things get easier for you, especially when you're building a reputation from scratch, relying on word of mouth, navigating competition, or working in a saturated area. But growth compounds. One client becomes 5, one review leads to 10. You just have to stay in the game long enough to see it build. Next, self-discipline is the job. One of the hardest parts of being your own boss is that there's no one telling you what to do. No boss checking in, no deadlines, no accountability except you. And that is tough. You have to be the one who says this needs to get done. You have to be the one who shows up when no one is watching. Personally, I love using apps like Monday or Google Calendar to time block my week and break down what I need to do in smaller tasks. It helps me stay on track, but every week isn't perfect, and that's okay. The goal is progress, not perfection. So please give yourself grace, take breaks when you need to, and celebrate the small wins. And know that just by showing up, you're doing better than most. This path isn't for the faint of heart, but it's also the most rewarding thing you'll ever build and do. My final advice before you go is do it scared. Everything about building your own business can definitely feel terrifying, whether it's landing your first client, posting your first video on social media, opening up your first location, or hiring your first employees. But here's the truth. You have to do it scared. Fear does not mean you're not ready. It means you're growing. Every failure is a lesson disguised as a detour, and those lessons will eventually lead you to your biggest wins. Over time, the risks feel less scary because you've built confidence by pushing through. Trust your gut. No one knows your business like you do. You can ask your friends or family for advice, and sometimes that input is helpful, but at the end of the day, your intuition is the best business partner. There have been so many times where I ignored my gut only to realize that my original idea was the right one all along. You are the one inside your business day in and day out. You know your market, you know your clients, your vision. Trust yourself. Stop comparing yourself to others. This might be the most important advice I can give. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. I know it's easier said than done, especially in the age of social media, but I recommend not following too many other artists or business owners if it starts to cloud your own creativity or confidence. When you start focusing on too much of what others are doing, it's easy to feel behind or not good enough. But your job is not to be like them. Your job is to build a business that feels like you. Keep your head down, stay in your lane, and give your energy to becoming the best version of yourself in your business, not someone else's.